going along with some more Christmas festivities, and we're going to be baking some cookies. I'm so excited because I love cookies. I ask my husband multiple times a day if I can just eat cookies for every meal, because why would I want to eat anything else? So we're gonna make some sugar cookies because those are his favorite, and some gingerbread, which are my favorite. And yeah, so first thing we gotta do is clear off and clean off the counter, wash my hands, those kind of things. I'm probably gonna have to lose the scarf because I got a super cute Minnie Mouse apron that I'm gonna wear. So let the Christmas begin. If you are looking for a gift for someone and you're looking for a lot of money, KitchenAid mixer, 2 thumbs up. If you don't want to spend quite that much money, the KitchenAid hand mixer is also really good, and it's like usually $40. I have a hand mixer as well, but I'm going to use this bad boy because we're making some serious cookies. And if you know someone who already has one of these and you're looking for a gift, I would highly recommend this. It's like a little shield, so you can put it over the bowl and you can pour the flour in here, and then it keeps it from just going all over the place. So here's a nice little time lapse of making the sugar cookies. I'm gonna link the recipe down below so you can check it out. It's not one of mine, it's from allrecipes.com. I do have to say it was definitely not nearly as good as my mom's, but it tastes like cookies, so. Alright friends, so sugar cookies are made. I had a time with these. So I was thinking, oh well, I'll edit this out, but I'm not gonna edit it out because it's real life. I somehow managed to forget to put flour in them, not because I've never baked before, but just because I had a moment and I just forgot. And so I opened up the oven and there was just like charred goop all over one of my baking dishes. And so I took the other ones, stuck them back in the mixer, put the flour in. Thankfully, I had made a double batch and half of them were in the oven that got messed up. So that meant that I was able to put just like a normal 1 batch worth of flour in there so it didn't get too messed up. So here's what they are looking like. I'm not super amazed. I'm gonna be honest, I already ate one. I'm not super amazed. They're pretty good, but they're not amazing. I got this recipe off All Recipes. Tastes like a cookie. Definitely does not beat my mom's sugar cookies. I was going to use her recipe, but I forgot to ask her for it, and I wanted to do it today, and she was already at work, so I was like, well, she's not gonna have it at work, so. Hopefully they'll be better. Once I frost them, I'm gonna let them cool down. I'm gonna start working on gingerbread, and then I'll frost these. I've been watching Klaus, which is a Netflix original Christmas movie. Oh my gosh, it is wonderful, absolutely adorable, absolutely adorable. Some peppermint mocha, some coffee with peppermint mocha creamer, a little mug, yeah. So I'm gonna get going on the gingerbread, and eventually I'll clean this whole hot mess up. And this time I won't forget the flour. For the gingerbread, I'm gonna do a little bit more narration so you can check out what is going on. I'm gonna say all of the things that I'm using, but I will also link the recipe down below. This is my grandma's recipe, or at least my mom got it from my grandma. I don't know where she got it from, but it is delicious. It is the best, and it makes a ridiculous amount of cookies, so be warned. So the first thing right here, I'm taking some shortening. It takes 1.5 cups of shortening, and you beat that together along with all of the wet ingredients first. A lot of people, you know, recipes always say like, put all the dry ingredients together, put all the wet ingredients together. Yeah, I never do that because, you know, why would I bother? I don't. So I just put the shortening with all of the wet stuff. So that would be 2 eggs. Actually, it's supposed to be 1.5, but I accidentally spilled too much of the second one in and I left it and they tasted just fine, so I'm not gonna worry about it. Then you put baking soda. You're supposed to dissolve it in the water, which is why I put it in now, but I forgot. It's 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda and then 1/2 cup of hot water. Next up is 1 whole jar of the molasses. This recipe is especially figured out so that you'll use the entire jar, which is why some of the measurements are super weird. Next up is salt, and you put 1.5 teaspoons of salt in here. Nutmeg, 1/2 teaspoon. I clearly buy super fancy spices. Walmart brand. Cloves are 3/4 of a teaspoon of cloves, or as close as you can get to that. Five teaspoons of cinnamon, which is super random again, but very useful. I'm not going to make you watch me put all 5 in there. And then ginger, of course, because you can't have gingerbread without ginger. So 1.5 teaspoons of ginger. Whoops, sorry, someone just bought something. All right, next up is sugar. So this takes 1 7/8 of a cup of sugar. Then the last thing we got to do is put in some flour. Now this takes quite a bit of flour. It takes 7.5 cups. If you are using one of these KitchenAid mixers, this takes up the entire bowl. Like the batter is so full, it barely will spin when you get the whole thing. So if you have one of those shields, I highly recommend it. And then you chill it for about half an hour-ish. A little bit, I feel like I should have done it a little bit longer this time. While that was chilling, I got my sugar cookies ready to go and also ate a little bit of lunch. I just bought some cream cheese icing. I didn't bother to make it because I didn't want to have to clean my mixer out that many times. These bake at 350 for 8 to 10 minutes. I always go for 8, and I usually make mine fairly thick because I like them to be nice and chewy. Once my cookies were finally finished and frosted, I decided to relax, so I grabbed a few of them and some hot chocolate, and I got a book, and I got a dog, and I read Little Women while I ate my cookies and drank my hot chocolate, and it was just really nice. Tolly, of course, joined me because she loves to snuggle, and we just chilled out for a little bit. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are interested in that gingerbread recipe, then it will be linked down below. I will also link the sugar cookie recipe. You may like it even though it was not my favorite. Please let me know if you like this by liking or leaving me a comment down below. And if you want more, make sure you subscribe. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, and Merry Christmas.